Welcome to PPND TV, and today we are interviewing the incredible Louisa Jewell, and we are delighted to have her. Could you tell us a bit about what you do?
Yes. Well, I call myself a multi-passionate entrepreneur because I do a number of things. And really at the heart of what I do is I teach positive psychology, and I do it many different ways. I teach workshops to practitioners, to teachers. I go into schools to teach positive psychology. So that's one thing that I do. I also deliver keynote addresses and other talks within corporations as well as to large groups or conferences. And I also run a series of webinars for people, again, teaching different groups of people about how to apply positive psychology in different contexts. And I'm also writing a book right now. So I'm doing lots of things, but again, it's all around my passion and love for positive psychology.
What is the positive psychology research finding that has most changed your life?
The one thing that has had the most significant impact on my life is Barbara Fredrickson's positivity ratio. So I have found, when I first took a look at that, I thought to myself, well, how can I apply that to my life? And I started to think about how can I increase the positive and how can I decrease the unnecessary negative. And once I started to focus on that and be mindful of that every single day and practice it, and I've been practicing that now for about 5 years now, that it considerably changed my mood, and it actually gave me more strength and resources to face the negative. Whereas before I might have, avoided the negative or, not dealt with things that I should be dealing with. Now I find I have a lot more energy to deal with the important negative things in my life because I've, gotten rid of kind of the unnecessary negative. So that's really had a tremendous impact on me.
So Barb Fredrickson's concept within the positivity ratio of psychological capital, that you actually are building up your own reserves, that seems to be, you seem to see it in practice all the time, it sounds like.
Exactly. And I use it every single day.
Just to get a little more nuance on that, which do you think is more, it has the bigger impact, when you focus on increasing the positive things or when you focus on decreasing the negative?
I think for me, it's about decreasing the negative because, we have such a negativity bias. And I'm not anymore, I used to be a big ruminator. So something negative would happen and I would think about it over and over and over again. So I think the negative had much more of an impact on me. So when I learned how to not engage in the unnecessary negative, that really had a big impact on me. And it really was Barb Fredrickson's idea of the ratio that, I would, be skipping on TV, skipping through the channels, and I might stop on a crime show or whatever. Now I don't, because I say, wait a sec, that's going to fill my denominator on my
I can't have that.
I can't. Oh, that episode of Dance Moms. No, right?
Great.
So, right?
Great.
And of course, I think bringing in more positive and savoring more of the moments, certainly does change your mood as well, and taking more of that in.
I know you do coaching and workshops. What is a story that you share in workshops that you find resonates the strongest with the people in the room?
Well, I think a lot of people who know me now don't realize that many years ago, I actually was depressed. I was in a full-on depression. I had to go see psychologists to get help. I've been on antidepressants in the past. And when I started to go see this psychologist, I realized that he was helping me to reframe how I was thinking about certain situations. And then I thought, I know he's doing something. I don't know what it is, but I need to learn what he knows because I will truly only get better when I know how to do this myself. And that's really when I started to find out about positive psychology, and then decided to, fully immerse myself in the study of it, and started to practice it. And now I have never fallen into a depression again.
So you told me this only just before the interview, and to me, there was a huge surprise having known you for many years. I mean, I think of you as the woman who will go out late at night with your husband dancing, who wants to do these fun things, who really grabs at life excitedly. I've seen you do talks. I've seen you present. So to me, it was very surprising to hear this about you.
Yeah, I think people would be surprised. They are surprised when they hear it. I just started, sharing this story in the past year or so. But, I've always been, I've always lived my life. I've always, but it's sort of, when I'm home that you sort of get all these feelings, or you have these sort of, this inner talk that kind of robs you of those happy times. And that's what I was able to get rid of, get rid of the ruminating.
Reframe, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's been great. It's actually been a miracle and wonderful. I'm really happy.
Yeah, it sounds like a 180-degree turn. It just sounds huge.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's what I love about positive psychology, because I know that it works.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're so passionate about sharing it with other people, and then hearing other people and how they've applied it and how they've actually changed their lives with it. It's such a gift.
Agreed, 100%. I would like to hear about what I know as your latest venture, which is this book. So I have heard recently that you're writing a book. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes. Well, my book is called, so far the title is Beyond Self-Doubt, The New Science of Self-Confidence. And what I do is I discuss the research in self-doubt, what it is, how it manifests with us, what are some of the consequences, and then I talk about the rich research and applications in positive psychology that can help us overcome self-doubt and improve our self-confidence so that we can overcome these obstacles and go out and create the life that we really want. The research of Albert Bandura in self-efficacy, that when I started learning about that and reading about that, I just fell in love. And I thought everybody needs to know, especially every woman needs to know about, about self-efficacy and how to build self-efficacy. And so as I'm writing it, I am so excited to be working on it and writing about it.
Who do you think your readers will mainly be?
I think, I think primarily I'm speaking to a younger me. So, women 25 to 45 who's interested in the science, interested in learning more about the psychology behind self-doubt and self-confidence. So that's primarily who my target would be.
Beautiful. After you finished the MAP program, one of the first things that I started realizing about you is that you do so many things that reach so many people. And I'd love to hear you speak a little bit about that. Margaret and I were delighted to be on your webinar for Positive Matters. You're running a series now of positive psychology videos. Would love to hear about that. I know you've run a radio program for years. Could you tell us about these adventures and what you've learned from them?
Sure. Well, let's start with the Positive Psychology Think Tank, because when I started to do MAP, I started getting calls and emails from my friends, other practitioners, who said, can you share with me what you're learning? I want to hear about all this positive psychology stuff. So I started with 5 people around my boardroom table. And, just every quarter I'd sit down and say, here's the latest stuff. And they loved it. And then after doing that for a while, we started to invite other researchers and other people to share. And now I have 1,200 people from around the world coming in, mainly practitioners, just to learn. Again, it's more about the application of positive psychology. So that's been very exciting. The videos that you're seeing is my new video blog. So I started a new video blog called The Science of the Good Life. And it's just, different short little video clips on different topics in positive psychology to get people to learn, just little snippets, mainly, again, how they can apply it to improve their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the radio show I did for so many years, I don't do that anymore. But it's just something that that I really enjoyed doing. It was one of the local radio stations. But now I guess primarily what I'm doing is I'm running the Canadian Positive Psychology Association. So
that was a perfectly smooth transition. That is my next question. Can you tell us about the Canadian Positive Psychology Association and what it does?
Okay, great. Well, I founded it with a few other founding members. Lisa Sansom is another MAP graduate, as well as a few other people here, mainly in Toronto. We started the CPPA in 2012, and we had our first conference in July of 2012. We're now having our second conference this July in Ottawa, July 17th and 18th in Ottawa. And the CPPA has grown into this organization that is really, once again, about bringing all the rich research in positive psychology to bringing it into the hands of practitioners and people who can make a difference. So for example, we had the Educating for Resilience conference in last November, and we invited teachers from across Canada to come and hear about applications of positive psychology to build resilience in schools. And since then, that has now attracted a number of different schools to come and get deeper on the topic. At the CPPA, we really are focused on improving the psychological health of all Canadians and everyone around the world who wants to hear our message. And really, we think of ourselves as the bridge between research and practice. And it's really about prevention, because there's a lot of organizations in Canada that focus on mental illness and focus on removing the stigma and, but there's really not a lot of, in fact, I don't know any organizations that are saying, wait a sec, how can we prevent depression? How can we prevent anxiety? And we need to do that because it's become epidemic in Canada. So we are a passionate group of people. We're growing every day. And it's just, every day I wake up and I say, am I really doing this? Do I get to go out and teach positive psychology again today? I mean, how lucky am I? How great is this?
If you were starting your business today instead of years ago, what would be the number one thing you would do business-wise from day one?
I would take a marketing course.
Say more about that. Say more.
Because, you start to realize that you can be passionate about a topic, but if nobody knows about it, you can't help as many people as you want to help. And it's all about reaching people and improving lives. And if I don't know how to reach those people, then I'm not going to be as effective as I can. And so I think that I would learn marketing first, and then, go out and spread the message that way.
And that's especially intriguing to hear from someone who has reached many people through the radio show, through the video blog, through the Positive Psychology think tank. So it's as if you're saying, I would have been glad to start that even earlier. I'm doing it now, but I would have been glad to start that even earlier.
And done it more strategically, I think. I was doing all those things, not thinking marketing in mind. So if I had known, all this stuff that I'm learning now, I probably would be it would probably be a lot farther ahead. But, everything happens right at the right time, doesn't it?
It does. Like your book right now, like the Canadian Positive Psychology Association conference right now, all of these different things. It does.
Yeah, I'm so excited about the conference. It's amazing to me when I see the people who are registering are researchers that I've read about from all over the world, and they're all coming here to Canada. We have great registration, so it's just, to me, it's so thrilling, and I can't wait to see everybody. I'm Sicilian, so when it's like hosting, family coming, like that feeling of hospitality and love and. Right?
My positive psychology family from around the world.
That's right. Exactly. And it really is true. My husband works in, he owns a technology company. The only time people call him is when there's problems. And he always says, you're so lucky because everyone calls you to say how great, everything is. And it's so true, isn't it? I mean, you just meet the most amazing people.
That's a beautiful note to end on. Thank you so much, Louisa.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Senia.